Hi, everybody. As she said, I'm a TV producer, presenter, and director, and I travel all around the world. So far, in 7 years, I have seen 100 countries and more than 350 cities all around the world. And I want you to tell my stories that I got from all those travels to inspire you to look beyond the horizon today. After all those travels, I came to this conclusion. Travel actually, even though it's made far from where you are, it brings you closer to who you really are. For me, travel is that. What does that mean? How can traveling make you closer to who you really are? Actually, traveling is to explore different places, different cultures. How can it just brings you closer to who you really are? Think of that. When we are born, we don't have any social perceptions on anything. We don't have any prejudices on anything. And even though we see some differences like shapes, like colors, like genders, we don't see those things to differentiate them from us, to be away from us. We accept everything with our heart. But then there are so many social actors that just put so many things on our brains, how to think, how to be, how to feel. Our families, they just give us a perception of life. Then schools, then our environment, also our friends, also governments, for example, they teach us how to think as a country about foreign issues, for example. And even we can just name media as a very important social structure that shapes how nation thinks. That's why so many powerful companies or governments put so much pressure on media, because they just try to use it to just give a nationwide opinion about things. We have given identities. Unfortunately, we think that we are someone, we have a personality, we have an identity that we choose it. But actually, most of our personality and identity is given, not chosen by ourselves. Nationalities, for example, are given identities. We are proud to be Turks in all manners. We are just so excited about national things all the times. And but so the Greeks, our neighbors, are very proud of themselves. And can you judge them? Can you say, no, we are the best and you are not as good as us ourselves? No. But you can start to empathize, start to look from their view when you meet them, when you go and explore with your own eyes and not with the cliches your history told you, your schools told you. When you just cross the border and when you start to look with their perspective, you start to see how close we are actually, how we are just the same, how we just have the same joys on same things on life. And we cannot change our nationality, of course, but we can just open our eyes and minds just like for the other people as well, and we can understand they have the same given identity, so we cannot judge them. I was born in Bulgaria as a minority, a Turkish minority, a member of a Turkish minority. My ancestors came to Bulgaria during Ottoman times and lived there for centuries. But then, according to that current regime there, in those times, they decided to change the names of the minorities and to accept everybody as Bulgarians. They said, your name after now is not Gulhan, you have to choose a Bulgarian name. And my family had to choose a Bulgarian name. So I become Galina Hristova Mihailova. But that makes you more radical about your nationality. Before, you are not aware that it's very important in your life, but when it's compulsory, when somebody tells you, you're not this, but you're that, then it becomes more important to you, and you say, no, we are Turks. We cannot accept that. That's why we have been just forced to compulsory immigration to Turkey. Then we came to Turkey in 1989. Then, as a child, I was 11 years old, I saw that nations just basically tell the stories how they see them, not the reality, of course. In Bulgaria, in primary schools, I were just taught about Turkey with so much different things than it is actually. And when I came here, I just read another version of history about everything. So I was confused. Then I was starting to feel actually given identities shouldn't be the main structure of our personality. We should choose our personalities, choose our identities as well. We cannot change, of course, everything. For example, our genders is another given identity, but this shouldn't put some borders to you. We have just listened to a Saudi Arabian lady that she was taught that you cannot drive, but she thought of herself and she decided on herself. So it wasn't a boundary for her just to think on for the way she was taught. The languages also affect on how we think and how we see things, how we understand cultures. A simple example, for example, the word you in English is both formal and informal. You can say you to your boss, you to your mother, to your friend, and that defines the distances between relations as well. In Turkish, we have to put a little bit distance when we are talking informal. And when you learn languages, it just again gives you another perspective, another horizon to look on cultures, to understand them better, to communicate them with them better. Religions, again, we are born in Muslim families, and we are Muslim. But would you choose Islam if you were born in a Christian family? If you were born in a Buddhist family? If the answer is yes, that's a chosen identity, and that's very precious. What we can do is actually, we can try to learn about the roots of our beliefs, to search, to read, and to make some of our given identities our hard-chosen identities and personalities. So we can not take everything for granted. We should just ask questions. We should just look from the both sides of everything and see the multitude effects on everything. Because it's very easy to judge people. You can judge, for example, my viewers ask me, what do you eat when you go to Asian countries? Do you eat dog meat when you go to South Korea, for example? And I say, what do you think Indians think when you just eat cows? Because it's sacred for them. That's basically like that. You cannot judge people without understanding their historical, geographical, social, cultural effects on what they do, what they eat, how they think. So when you travel, you start to be more tolerant. You start to be more sensitive on some issues. I myself become more sensitive, for example, about environmental issues, because I see everywhere as my home. You become a world citizen. You don't see people like with their nationalities, with their religions, with their cultural differences. You start to see everybody with your heart. You stop to judge them. You start to understand and feel them with your own conscience, with your own heart, and everybody becomes more closer to you. You just value people as they are, as human beings, not like with the countries or everything. There was, I don't know whether you have seen it, there was a broadcast from from space by NASA, and there was the astronaut there. He said, "We see no borders when we look from here in Earth." So that was a very good and sensitive sentence for me that I just felt very deep in my heart. When I travel, I started to see no borders, no differences, just people, whether they are good in heart, whether they are just bad. That's all that matters, I think. We cannot change the world. We cannot make everybody think as we want to think, we want them to think, or we cannot make people just the way we are, but we can inspire them. If you are so bonded to your beliefs, your opinions, you should not force people. You can only inspire them by being a good example on everything you are defending, actually. I want you, I hope you all just find yourselves, your self-chosen identities and personalities during your journey in life. And travel will help you with that. Even our understandings on general issues differ so much when you travel. For example, the understanding of beauty. Western countries just always imposes us to be thinner and thinner, and you feel yourself better when you're thin and higher from the others. But in some African countries, for example, you would be concerned much more beautiful if you're a little bit fat, a little bit booty. And in European countries, again, before summer, especially women go to solariums to get a little bit tan. But in Asian countries, women just try so hard to preserve their fair skins, not to get sun, not to get just ruin their pale skins, and they wear even gloves and hats. And in the markets, beauty stores, you find even whitening facial creams, as we have here creams to make our skin darker. So understanding of beauty, again, you see it's very, it's not objective, it's very subjective, and you feel better about yourself when you see all those differences. Understanding of happiness, understanding of success, it will just change so much when you travel and see all the differences. For a Maasai person in Kenya, the most happy thing is to have natural sources, to have rain, so the grass grows, so the animals just get fed and they have food. That's the most happiest things for them. But we are just making so hard to be happy, living so hard, trying to be successful, trying to be at the best schools, trying to get the best job, trying to earn much more money. But actually, maybe that's not the formula for happiness. You understand this better when you see people who are happy with less things. I hope you have your own journeys in life. You travel a lot and you just find yourself in all those travels with chosen identities, not all the given identities and all the cliches that world told you to be, world imposed you to feel, to think. Thank you.